Hey, Cowboys Nation, this is Cowboys Wire News, your home for breaking news, smart analysis, rumors, and film room insights. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a snap. Let's talk America's team. The Dallas Cowboys may have just set the league on fire. Word around the NFL is that Brian Burns, the explosive pass rusher who's been terrorizing quarterbacks for years, is officially joining America's team. The news hit like a thunderclap. Fans went from cautious optimism to full-blown celebration in seconds. Burns isn't just another addition, he's a game changer. The kind of player who forces offensive coordinators to lose sleep. Imagine pairing him with Micah Parsons, two freak athletes on the same defensive front, both capable of wrecking entire game plans. Dallas hasn't just improved, they might have redefined their identity. The Cowboys' defense, already one of the most intimidating units in football, could now evolve into something legendary. You can feel it in the air. This isn't just another offseason move. This feels like a statement. Jerry Jones didn't just open his wallet, he opened the door to a new era, and the fans, they're buzzing. From sports talk shows to barbershop debates, everyone's asking the same question: are the Cowboys finally putting the missing piece in place to make that long-awaited Super Bowl run? It's no secret that Dallas has been chasing defensive dominance for years. Sure, they've had flashes of greatness, moments when the pass rush looked unstoppable, when the secondary played tight, and when Parsons alone made everyone believe. But adding Brian Burns brings something different: consistency. He's that rare edge defender who combines speed, power, and technique with a relentless motor. Every snap, he's a threat. Quarterbacks won't just have to worry about Parsons anymore. Now they'll be watching both edges. Like hawks, it's the kind of move that turns good defenses into nightmares inside the locker room. The excitement is reportedly contagious. Veterans are talking about unfinished business. Younger players are hyped to learn from Burns. And the coaching staff finally feels like it has every tool it needs to execute Dan Quinn's aggressive schemes. If you thought the Cowboys' defense was good last year, buckle up, because this might be the year they dominate every Sunday. Behind the scenes, the negotiations weren't easy. The Cowboys had to maneuver around cap space, restructure deals, and make sure they didn't compromise future flexibility. But this front office knew what was at stake. You don't get chances like this every year. Burns was the kind of player who could have landed anywhere. Several contenders were reportedly making strong pushes, but Dallas pulled it off. That alone says something. It shows commitment, vision, and a willingness to push all chips to the center of the table. And when Jerry Jones goes all in, history tells us something big is brewing. Fans have been begging for that win-now mentality, and this signing screams exactly that. The Cowboys didn't wait for opportunity to knock, they kicked the door down. Burns' arrival is more than a transaction. It's a message to the rest of the league that the Cowboys are tired of being contenders. They want to be champions, of course. With every blockbuster signing comes the pressure to deliver. The spotlight in Dallas is unlike any other in sports. It magnifies everything. One bad game becomes a headline. One great game becomes a movement. But if there's anyone who can handle that kind of intensity, it's Brian Burns. His time in Carolina proved he's not just talented, he's tough, disciplined, and ready for the big stage. Pairing that mindset with Micah Parsons' energy creates a defensive duo that could go down as one of the best of this generation. Just picture it: opposing quarterbacks looking up from the turf, realizing they never stood a chance. The Cowboys might not just be competing this season, they could be dictating every game. And with the NFC wide open, this timing couldn't be better. Fans are already flooding social media with reactions, edits, and wild predictions. Some are calling it the best defensive move since DeMarcus Ware wore the star. Others are cautious, reminding everyone that paper talent doesn't always translate to postseason glory. But even the skeptics can't deny the potential. Burns brings versatility. He can play in multiple schemes, line up in different spots, and force offenses to adjust every single play. That's the kind of player who changes the DNA of a defense. Coaches love him because he's smart, relentless, and rarely takes a snap off. And when you combine that with the leadership presence of veterans like DeMarcus Lawrence, Dallas' defensive front might just be the most complete it's been in over a decade. The stars are aligning, literally and figuratively. The rumor mill keeps spinning. 2. Some insiders suggest that Burns had been eyeing Dallas for months, attracted by the idea of teaming up with Parsons and competing on a national stage every week. Others say Jerry Jones personally pushed the move through, sensing that this was the moment to make a bold statement, whatever the truth is. One thing's clear, this move has shifted the balance of power in the NFC. Rival fans can joke all they want, but deep down, they know this isn't the same old Cowboys. This is a franchise reloading with purpose. This is about legacy, about rewriting the narrative, about turning potential into proof. The Cowboys haven't just added a player, they've added belief. Now the real question floating through every sports talk segment is simple: what's next? Because when you make a move like this, it doesn't stop here. Adding Brian Burns could be just the beginning of a new Dallas blueprint, one built on defense, attitude, and relentless pressure. Dan Quinn has already crafted top 5 units before. But this roster might give him his masterpiece. Think about it: Parsons rushing off one side, Burns crashing off the other, and a deep rotation keeping everyone fresh deep into the fourth quarter. The Cowboys might finally have the formula that every great defense shares: depth, discipline, and destruction. Offenses will have to throw quicker, make riskier reads, and deal with constant chaos, and that, my friends, leads to turnovers. That's how championships are won. Around the league, reactions are pouring in. Former players are praising the move, analysts are breaking down tape, and rival teams are reportedly scrambling to adjust their off-season plans. You can't ignore a shift like this when Dallas makes a splash. The NFL feels the ripple. Burns is young, still in his prime, and his best football might be ahead of him. That's the scary part. Most elite defenders hit their stride around this age, and pairing him with Parsons could unlock something we haven't seen since the Doomsday Defense days. Fans who grew up hearing about those legendary units might finally witness their modern successor. And if that happens, Dallas won't just be fun to watch, they'll be feared again, inside the star. The energy reportedly feels different. Coaches are talking about completing the puzzle. Players are buying in, and there's a quiet confidence spreading through the locker room. Nobody's declaring victory, but everyone knows they've got something special. Burns' presence alone changes the tone of practice. Younger defensive ends get to watch how a true professional prepares, how he studies film, how he reads offensive lines, how he uses leverage to win matchups. That kind of influence can't be measured in stats. It builds a culture. And that's what Dallas has been searching for: a defense that isn't just talented, but united, hungry, and proud to wear the star. You can feel the shift from potential to purpose. Critics, of course, are already raising questions. Can the Cowboys' offense keep up with this new defensive firepower? Will the front office be able to manage cap space after such a bold move? Is this the start of a short-term gamble or a long-term dynasty? These are fair concerns, but for now, fans aren't worrying about the what-ifs. They're celebrating the fact that their team is acting like a contender again. For too long, the Cowboys have been teased with almost moments, close games, missed opportunities, and what-ifs that haunt the offseason. This move feels like the end of hesitation. Dallas is declaring that the window is now. And whether it's Dak Prescott leading drives or Burns leading the charge on defense, the message is clear. It's Super Bowl or bust. If you listen closely, you can already hear the echoes of excitement coming from AT&T Stadium. Jerseys are being ordered, highlight reels are being made, and fans are dreaming bigger than ever. Brian Burns might not have played a single snap yet, but his arrival has already reignited the Cowboys' spirit. Every great team needs a moment that defines its shift: a signing, a draft pick, a game that changes everything. This could be that moment for Dallas. The defense is now the heart of the franchise, the identity that can carry them through the toughest playoff battles. And if everything clicks, we might look back and say this was the turning point. The day the Cowboys stopped being pretenders and started becoming champions again. And so the rumor turns into a rallying cry: the NFL better be ready. Because this isn't just hype, this is hunger. Brian Burns in a Cowboys uniform is more than a headline, it's a warning. The kind of warning that says, we're coming. Dallas has the firepower, the swagger, and now the defensive arsenal to make every Sunday a statement. For a franchise that's lived under the weight of expectations for decades, this move feels like liberation. The Cowboys are embracing their destiny, ready to reclaim their throne. One sack, one hit, one statement win at a time. The storm is coming, and at the center of it stands Brian Burns, the new leader of a defense built to dominate. Welcome to the new Dallas Cowboys era. Before we roll on, subscribe to Cowboys Wire News, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Your support keeps the Dallas Cowboys updates coming. Tell us what you think in the comments. The league can pretend not to notice, but deep down, everyone feels it. The Dallas Cowboys just changed the temperature of the entire NFC. Brian Burns' arrival isn't a quiet move. It's the kind that echoes through locker rooms across the country. Quarterbacks who used to study Micah Parsons' tape all week will now have to double their homework. Offensive linemen will need an extra coffee before facing that relentless front. This is what true disruption looks like. Dallas has always been known for its offense, the flash, the show, the fireworks, but now the spotlight belongs to the defense. Burns gives the Cowboys that rare balance, star power with substance, talent with toughness. You can sense that the swagger is back, not the kind that comes from hype, but the kind that's earned through grit and grind. And don't underestimate what this does for Micah Parsons. He's been carrying the defensive spotlight since his rookie season, often double-teamed, sometimes even triple-teamed, and still dominating. Now, with Burns on the opposite edge, the burden lightens, and the chaos multiplies. It's a defensive coordinator's dream and a quarterback's worst nightmare. Imagine third and long situations with both of them lined up wide, ready to explode off the snap. Add DeMarcus Lawrence in rotation, and you've got a three-headed monster unlike anything we've seen in years. This isn't just talent accumulation. This is strategic warfare. The Cowboys are building something designed to control games, to impose fear, to make every offensive drive feel like survival. The defense won't just react, it'll dictate. But more than the stats, more than the headlines, there's something emotional about this shift. Cowboys fans have waited years for a team that looks as fierce as the logo represents. Brian Burns brings that emotion back, the fire, the intensity, the sense that every Sunday means something bigger. He's the kind of player who inspires not just teammates, but the fan base itself. You can already picture the stands shaking after a big sack, the crowd roaring like it hasn't in decades. It's not just about chasing glory anymore. It's about restoring pride. Dallas has always been more than a team. It's a symbol, and now, with Burns leading the defensive charge, that symbol shines a little brighter. This feels like the dawn of something real, something powerful, something that could finally make the Cowboys everything their fans have always believed they could be. That's a wrap from Cowboys Wire News. For breaking Cowboys updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Tell us your take in the comments.